Welcome to what it looks like a green screen of the Grand Canyon, but is actually the Grand Canyon.
We are recording from the Grand Canyon.
We're sitting on a ledge. We're sitting on a goddamn ledge in one of the 7 wonders of the world. This is peak annoying, by the way. They were like, oh my God, what a beautiful place. And we were just running around trying to find a ledge to record a podcast that doesn't exist. We were like, oh, let's get some clips. Maybe it'll go viral if we're like at the great, at one of the great wonders. He's like, I am literally on a ledge.
Yeah.
It's hard to feel comfortable to riff.
Really? I feel all right. You've always been on the edge, André. This is great. We are at the Grand Canyon. Well, it's absolutely wonderful. We are recording from obviously Arizona. We are here to perform at Las Vegas this weekend. We thought we should check this place out. It is fantastic. Highly recommend it. What's your favorite part of the Grand Canyon so far?
The ledges.
Yeah, there's good ledges. Like
great ledges. Which, by the way, so this was like I turned 30, and we're like, oh, we're going to Vegas, which is going to be like my big blowout party or something. And then we're like, let's do a trip. So it's always been my dream to hire a Mustang. We got a convertible V8 Mustang, and we've been driving from California all the way to Vegas, stopping at the Grand Canyon to record a podcast.
Every time I do an update, 20 people unfollow me on my stories. And I would unfollow me also. Well, these guys on an open-top Mustang going down the American Route 66 on their way to Grand Canyon.
And I'm in Bath, England.
Yeah, Bath is nice. So, great news. We have great announcements to make. First off, André got his visa for America.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I got my visa to come be an artist in America. I'm officially an alien of extraordinary ability, a worthy member of the arts and television world.
Yeah, you're certified talented.
I'm certified talent by the government.
By the American government, the Hollywood, the establishment.
Yeah, and I found out when we landed, we were on the queue to get into the United States. But
yeah. By the way, wild queue.
Wild queue.
Like there is way too many immigrants.
There's only immigrants that work at the. Just like we would get there, and there's like a Chinese lady. We go, you move that way, and be like,
your English is broken. How are you controlling who comes in?
Dude, I was like, are we going to get turned down to enter the country by someone with worse English than us?
The last thing you want is someone going, come in, I not trust you. Who the fuck are you?
Your paper is bad. Your paper is bad.
How did you get in? How did you control the others? This is the ultimate American dream, is to become a citizen of this country and thinking, I need to control the borders.
I'll tell you what though. Yeah.
Less people like me come in.
It's all immigrants, and we've noticed here that there's a lot of Asian tourists, and they don't speak a lot of English. So they all rock up to the border of the U.S. and they'll just speak Chinese. What are you doing here? The immigration person doesn't speak English. They don't speak English. They're just in Mandarin going, what brings you to the United States?
Yeah, this is... I know speak English. Don't worry. We speak every language here.
Yeah, we got like I got like an Indian guy.
There's a man tried to come here and enjoy the view. And now we're doing the podcast. We are annoying. But I am persevering.
I know. People are trying to be in the moment, enjoy the sunset in one of the 7 wonders of the world. And we're like, sorry, we've taken the ledge.
Yes. But we are legends. We are legends.
I know.
We are the end of the ledge. That's where we are.
Yeah, we're at the end of the ledge.
We're legends.
Yeah.
Is that it?
We are
legend
very close to the ledge.
Legend is a word that's been thrown about quite a lot recently.
Yeah.
But I think we deserve it. If there's a ledge, I'm the end.
It is so, because trying to find a place to do this is so weird, right? Because there's a lot of there's people around, so we're trying to find like a quiet place, and I could just see people walking in the trail behind us, going looking at us, be like, are those guys recording a podcast?
We are very annoying, but
this is scum, absolute content scum. You're like, let's go.
I would be very annoyed, but this is the game nowadays, guys. We have to do something, and we promised you at the beginning of this podcast 5 episodes ago, or maybe 3. I don't know. Let's not discuss the amount of episodes. That we will travel around the world, and we are here tomorrow. We'll record from Las Vegas, and then we're going to Austin. So Yeah, we hired
Let's
a
not
car.
make promises.
Yeah. We hired a car. We are going around.
Which, by the way, so I just want to like wrap up on that immigration story, which is, we were in the queue. I just found out my visa had been approved, and they were like, when can you come into the U.S. embassy to get your stamp? And I'm like, you're not gonna believe this, but better than the embassy, I'm in the United States, and they're like, you can't get stamped there. So I was in the queue having to pretend to be a tourist, and they're like looking up on my file, and I'm like, I don't know if you've heard the news, dude, but you don't need to be asking me how long I'm here for.
I have extraordinary ability. That's all my words. That's your government.
Yeah. An alien. This is also a wild name for a visa, which is they call you alien of extraordinary ability. It's like, oh, it's a foreign talented person. And they're like, an alien.
Yeah.
Surely there can't be that many foreigners.
So yeah, we got the paperwork, we got the Mustang. It was a bit of a nightmare hiring a car because another Indian immigrant was questioning our legitimacy.
Yeah, we got to the rental car. This guy's go, where's your stamp? And I'm like, they don't stamp anymore.
You should know. You came to this country too.
But he did not. He goes, why is your passport Portuguese and your driver's license is English? And I'm like, we're like, immigration, dude. I'm sure you've heard about it.
Yeah, you're an immigrant. I'm sure your passport doesn't say fucking United States.
He goes, he's like, what, you mad at the... Yeah, so we landed, and we were like, we had one night in Los Angeles.
We hang out.
And so we decided, okay, we either go in or we go out.
Yeah, you managed to annoy a lot of black people in a comedy club.
I don't think I annoyed any.
Yeah, you definitely.
I did not.
You definitely.
I didn't annoy.
You definitely
black
raised
people.
some eyebrows.
No,
because this is how like André. So we were. At
Which, by the way,
like,
I'm an American now. I'm a diverse person. Okay, guys. So I just want to put that out there. I've never been diverse before. It was really exciting because before I boarded the flight, they were like, they randomly searched me, and I'm like, oh my god, I've never like been randomly searched. I guess I am different now. I'm a minority.
You were really playing it up. So we're in the comedy club, and we are hanging out, and there's black comedy night, and there was like so many black comedians. We knew a few, so we're just chatting, and they were saying, where are you guys from? A guy was from Nigeria, another guy was from Angola.
André was like, they're American. One of our friends.
One of them was Nigerian. Actually Nigerian. He was born and raised in Nigeria.
Okay.
And the other guy was born and raised in South Sudan. And then another guy was saying, and the girl, Bianca, our friend, said, oh yeah, like my dad is from Angola. And André said, but you were born and raised in the Czech Republic, so you're Czech. But then also they were discussing the fact that Angola was a Portuguese colony. And André was way too excited to share how his people colonized their people.
No, he was share. Excited. She goes, wow, and the other guy goes, oh, Angola, wow, you never really meet people from Angola. He's like, oh, you meet some. Yeah, I'm like, listen, I'm not proud of like the colonization because it's like, and he goes, like, but it was a Portuguese colony. He goes, yeah, he's like Angola. He's like, yeah.
He said it's very niche. And you were like, niche.
Yeah, he said it's very niche, and I'm like, it's not that niche. There was some colonization.
Yeah, he was very proud.
Like, I mean, listen, I'm not for colonization at all, and obviously, like, no one gets mad at Portugal because people don't even know Portugal exists, let alone it had an empire. So people like grab onto it. He'd be like, he was niche, and I'm like, it's not niche. He goes, and I'm like, well, Mozambique.
Yeah, and he said Mozambique.
Mozambique
was Mozambique. Let me say this story. It's very funny. Mozambique was another Portuguese colony, and the guy goes, yeah, Mozambique, another niche country. How many people do you meet that are from Mozambique? And André goes,
no. He goes, how often do you talk to somebody who's from Mozambique?
And André says, well, I talk to my father every day, and he was born and raised in Mozambique. And then he had also made the statement about how you are where you were born. You're from the place you were born. If you're born somewhere, that's where you're from. So his dad is from Mozambique. And I'm like, dude, you're about one sentence away from declaring yourself half African.
That's right. In Europe, I've always just been a white guy, but in America, all of a sudden I'm half. My mom's Portuguese, so they're like, they don't really know, like in America, what it is.
African?
They're like, Hispanic, Latino, and I'm like, I'm half African, half Latino.
Yeah, wrap your minds around that.
Yeah, that's right, guys. Yeah, in the iconic words of my manager, you're the right amount of foreign, You're diverse without being scary to the people.
Yeah. 50% African, 50% Latin. That is crazy. It's crazy that you, like, You look at yourself and you said, "Yeah, I'm half African. Actually, I know the struggle of your people."
I didn't say that because I've never called
did.
myself African.
You were,
I've never called myself African, but I did think
but you are.
I might.
By your logic, you're 50% African.
By
Because
my, but yeah,
your dad is African,
yeah.
so you're 50%
But my dad doesn't
African.
consider himself African.
But by your logic, your dad is African, right?
Yeah, yeah. I believe people are where they're born. So by that logic, I'm not African.
But you're 50%.
But I'm not.
You're like your dad is African. You mixed
Yeah,
race.
me and Bianca,
You're mixed
we're
race.
two peas in a pod.
Yeah, because Bianca is also half Czech and half Angolan, so you are.
Yeah.
You are. You have the same heritage. You celebrate it. You should.
Yeah. So I mean,
Black
and also
History
I
Month.
think you're really underplaying how funny it was when he goes, "How often do you talk to someone from Mozambique?" And I'm like, "Every week." My father. They got a big laugh in the group.
I got a big laugh. You got a big laugh. So we did that. We enjoyed it. What else we do?
And by the way, because they were like, "Oh, what other countries speak?" It's like Portuguese is the 5th most spoken world language in the world. Here's the thing: I'm not a patriotic guy. I think we all become more patriotic when we're away, because you're like, I can talk shit about my country, but when other people talk shit about my country, I get pissed. It's like when you're like in school and someone like
Yeah,
you're
but they
always
were
saying
talking
like
shit about Angola.
your sisters.
That's not your country. That was a settlement.
No, but I talk shit about. It's like when you're in school and you're like saying, "Fuck, my sister's such a slut," and then someone says like, "Yeah, your sister is a slut." You'd be like, "Hey, who the fuck are you to say that? I can say she is." So I was like, he goes, "Oh, but how many people like?" He goes, "Portuguese." They're like, "Why?"
What a weird comparison. My sister is a slut. that is a metaphor for making fun of your country. My sister is a slut.
Yeah, or something along those lines.
That is a weird metaphor, my friend.
I don't think it's that weird. I think it applies. The point was, he goes, "What other countries speak Portuguese?" And I was like, "Well, Cape Verde, and
Cape Verde, a well-known destination. Just the tip.
Macau. I mean, listen,
Macau doesn't speak Portuguese.
Macau was the last Portuguese,
But doesn't speak Portuguese, Macau.
Well, listen,
Macau.
you know the Macau Kitchen restaurant in Edinburgh?
Yeah?
They speak Portuguese. They're from Macau.
Okay. I don't have my phone with me, otherwise I would look it up.
What? The point is, like, listen, colonization, bad, for sure. But I would like to...
But someone's proud of it.
No, I would like it to be acknowledged. You know how people say, it's like, "Oh, the British did that, the British did that." It'd be like, can people also go, and we did that? Not we, actually.
Your dad.
They.
Your dad.
It was a day.
Your dad was doing that.
My dad was
Your
not.
dad was a colonizer.
My dad was not a colonizer.
He colonized Mozambique. He was a colonizer.
What are you talking about? He was born there.
But but as a colonizer,
No.
he was a ruling.
His parents were born in.
Yeah.
No, my grandma was born in Mozambique, and my grandfather.
What were they doing there? What white people doing in Mozambique?
It was business.
Yeah, what was the business? Yeah, go on.
I don't know.
Please,
I don't
please,
know.
oh, you don't know the ins and outs?
Listen, I
only
am
reason
not
you're-
going to stand at the Grand Canyon on the ledge, watching the sunset, and you telling me that my family was in the slave trade. Because let me tell you something right now. I do not have enough. My family does not have money.
Yeah.
Like, do you think if they were involved in the slave trade, we'd be...
I think that's a very telling part of your heritage as a person. Like your family, your DNA. Your family colonized, and you are still poor.
That's
shit?
the country.
But how? No. But
Sorry, are you quoting my joke?
No.
How?
No. You are poor, not the country.
The country
your family.
is poor.
Your family is poor.
But the country is poor.
But you were shit. Your family failed.
We weren't colonizers.
You colonized.
There was no colonizing.
Tell me why your dad left Mozambique. What happened? What was the political undercurrent that made your dad leave that tropical paradise?
The government. There was a revolution.
Yeah, what was revolution about? What were they revolting against?
No. But everyone got a choice. So essentially, every person that lived in Mozambique, when the revolution was happening.
What was the revolution? What were they fighting for? The rebels.
No, when Portugal left
what
Mozambique,
were the rebels fighting for?
they were fighting for government power. So when Portugal left the colonies on its own will because it couldn't maintain it,
Yeah.
right? So there was no money. Portugal couldn't afford to maintain the colonies, so they left. And when they started leaving, all these other factions started, kind of like
There was
going to take power.
power vacuum
Yeah, so
because the colonizers left.
no, but everyone was given a choice. Like my father was saying, like a lot of his friends stayed, and they're Mozambicans. Like,
Yeah.
so everyone is given a choice of like, do you want to be a Portuguese citizen or do you want to be a Mozambique citizen? And they chose to come back to Portugal, because my father wanted to go to university.
Yeah.
So
So basically, what happened is the ruling colonizers left, and the rebellion that ensued drove your white father out of an African country. But definitely,
no, that's not it, George.
definitely not the colonizers.
No, we're not. There was no, dude. You can't be a colonizer and be, like poor, like not have money.
No, you can't be if you're like stupid as a family. If your family is a failure.
My dad already doesn't like you, and you just go, if you're stupid as a family.
Yeah, that's true. No, but I have to say,
Yeah, 'cause
Miguel,
George, you're also-
Miguel, I'm making fun of André here. You are
You're
a very good family. It's just André, it's comedy.
George,
Your dad won't watch this.
You're very.
You think your dad will watch this?
Yeah, he might.
Yeah, he might.
He might.
He might. Anyway, let's move on. Like, have you said the story of what I've done in the podcast before? Why your dad doesn't like me?
I don't think so.
Dude.
Have we? No, maybe not. Well, so George came to my house for my birthday dinner 2 years ago, and it was the first time coming to my house, right? So it was like just a family dinner, and it was family dinner, my ex-girlfriend, and George. And so it was all very family affairs. It was the first time George is there. And so my dad's very like, he does astrology and, he's it's hard to describe, right? Because you like really wouldn't really place my father as like an astrology person.
No. You think he's a very smart man when you talk to him.
Yeah.
Which he is.
He
Miguel is intelligent.
And he's very sort of stoic about the astrology. Anyways, the conversation moved, and my girlfriend was talking to him about astrology, etc. And then George was like, "Oh, you want to do my map?" And then George was like, "Oh yeah." And then he asks him the date of birth, where he was born, etc., etc. So he kind of gets the map and starts explaining to George, what the map was saying about
my star signs. And he was saying, what you told me about when you were born and where you were born really shows that, look, you're a very outgoing person. You are, you're very outspoken, and it's very obvious because you do comedy. And these things the stars are saying that what you're doing, it was really meant to be who you are, because it was written in the stars. Look, it all makes sense. Which was a great moment for me, because that's the moment that I decided to turn around and say,
everything I told you was a lie. I wasn't born at this place. I wasn't born at that time. And this is why it's so hard to be friends with you, dude, because you are a person that is deeply unliked in so many. You're so deeply unliked.
I reckon
you're deeply hated and loved.
I do. My only regret was absolutely destroying your dad's beliefs in his own house during his son's birthday party. Like, I could have done it. I could have done it when I first met him.
Listen,
I could have done it in a different time. I acknowledge the situation.
In my father's defense,
it was very funny,
and I don't come to his defense often, which he complains about. But he was only interpreting.
Yes, and that's what
he was making an interpretation of what he was seeing in the map.
Yes, and then I just displays how it's all bullshit.
No, because it's not a science or anything.
Definitely not. I agree.
So it was just saying what he saw, but he wasn't having any.
No, he wasn't. He was doing it in a very pleasant and generous way. But
anyway,
I was in a cheeky mood.
Yeah. Since then, George.
Your mom likes me.
Yeah, my mom likes you, but my mom
cool
likes
woman.
everybody. My
Yeah.
mother is a very nice person. And listen, you do have a tendency of you were worried about immigration getting into the United States, and then when the guy was asking you like, what are you doing here?
What's the purpose of your visit?
What's the purpose of your visit? Whatever. And then at the end, George goes to the immigration guy, goes, "What are you doing here?"
What's the purpose of your visit?
He goes, "What?" You could see that he was like shocked because he's never been like counter interrogated. No one's been like. He's never had someone, because people are just like, "Oh my God, I went through immigration. Thank God." No one's ever just stood there and be like,
What are you doing here?
What's the purpose of your visit?
You have to hand it to him.
What are you doing today?
Yeah.
And then George,
Do you know what he said? Like he just took a moment to process what just happened, realized I'm joking, and he went, "All I'm trying to do is go home tonight, pal. Go back to my house." And I went, "Good answer."
Yeah.
We riffed, we laughed, and
good
then
answer. Go on.
and I
And
left.
then you just stood
And I
there.
left, which is good because
Because we found a bag of Coke in your.
I didn't. Hypothetically speaking, how funny will it be? Obviously, that hasn't happened. But I want to say, imagine a world like, and this is comedy, so I'm making the story up. So this is what I've made up recently. What I've made up is I went through US Customs, and then when I was trying to find the equipment for the podcast, as I opened the camera that I had used at the Fringe for the very last time, I found a bag of Coke that I had bought at the Fringe that I accidentally smuggled through the United States. That would have been funny.
Hypothetically,
That
of
would have been
course.
very funny
Yeah,
had I done it.
hypothetically, yeah.
But can you imagine if I had done it?
Which I think, to be fair, if you were going to smuggle drugs into a country, the best way is to just go overconfident to the immigration people.
Balls
Be
first.
like, "What are you doing
yeah,
here?"
yeah.
You know, you like piss him off.
Yeah.
He goes, no one who goes to the immigration officer asking questions could possibly be smuggling drugs.
Yeah, it was very good.
You know, and
It was very fun. Can we talk about the Grand Canyon for a bit? Because the sun is going down and we really want to...
yeah, this is insane.
yeah, like, we are so blessed. And can I... like
We're hashtag
Hashtag blessed.
blessed.
I was saying this before. Like, do you think it's a good place to commit suicide?
Yeah, but it is scary.
Isn't it? But
It
it
is
is like...
scary.
you know what I mean? Like,
If you're going to commit suicide, for sure, this is the
this is
best
the place,
spot.
right? Like, you have to feel sorry for the people jumping off the bridge.
Do you think, because everyone's on the ledges and everyone's trying to take photos, do you think one guy would just commit suicide, be like, "Hey, buddy, could you just take a photo of me?" And then just jumps. The guy's just standing there like, "What the fuck?"
That would be a good way to go, for sure. He has a last laugh on that one.
He goes, imagine he just says, "Can you take a photo of me?" "Absolutely. Would you mind taking a photo of me after?" He goes, "What? Never."
Yeah, no. Absolutely, I'll take a photo of you after. Just you take the first one, and then I promise I will definitely take a photo of you. This is
Or imagine the guy just goes, "What did you just ask me?" And then he just jumps off.
this is very, very good. This is exciting.
It is unreal
I can't believe it.
to be here.
We are so blessed.
We did want to like always record the podcast in like amazing places, and we've failed mostly. It's like we've done one podcast that was 20 minutes in Italy because the camera overheated, and turns out it's very hard to film on a boat because
It is swinging, but we
It is
will
swinging.
we will be releasing it. Do you want to?
and then we recorded one in a flat in Edinburgh, so not very exotic, I would say.
do you
so
have
far.
a very American thing? As we're in the Grand Canyon, the sunsets, and try one of the beef jerkies that we bought.
Yeah, you bought beef jerky. I've never had it.
You
Yeah,
never had
grab
it? I had it, and then I thought, why don't you try it on the podcast? This is you're a citizen of America. You have a visa.
I'm not a citizen.
No, but you have.
Watch out. Don't sit on. Obviously I'm not a citizen. It is very specific about a non-immigrant visa, which I haven't gotten yet. It's not been stamped.
But hey, U.S. border control. This man is having beef jerky right
Hey,
now.
they're asking me one day. They're like, "Hey, you a tourist? How long you staying?"
Smell this.
Ooh. Smells like goddamn America.
It smells very.
Listen,
It's a very
it
weird
smells
one.
like AR-15s and freedom.
Here's a big one. Try this.
That's what P. Diddy said to Meek Mill. Which, by the way,
You've been traumatized by this.
I
How the beef jerky? Don't talk about it. What's it taste like? What do you think?
Tastes like a convertible Mustang driving off into the sunset.
I hate it and I love it at the same time.
Yeah, it's like gum.
It is like meat candy,
It's meat candy, exactly. That's what it is.
right?
It's meat candy.
Like,
It's like meat gum that you can swallow.
it's such a fucking weird and like
How does this even made?
it has 3 types of sugar. it has it has beef, water, sugar, brown sugar, hydrolyzed corn protein, maltodextrin, cultured celery extract, beef stock, pineapple powder.
Wow. They do eat some crazy shit. When we were driving yesterday, we stopped in a diner on the roadside.
And that's zero grams of dietary fiber. This
0 grams. That's right, baby.
Zero.
That's America. At least they're honest.
I love it and I hate it at the same time.
I could see that you're driving on a road trip and you're just eating this.
Yeah, but it's like you're not happy about it.
But you keep eating.
It's the sugar
Yeah.
and the beefiness of it. I like this one. Have you seen this? It has. This is also a very funny thing. It has this thing to absorb the oxygen absorber, and on it, with big words on the graphic, it says, "Do not eat."
Like, for that to exist, there must have been like a lot of people thinking this was sauce.
Do not eat. Do not microwave. Who does it? Americans.
Apparently, a lot of people.
America.
Dude, America. We stopped in this roadside diner when we stopped it yesterday, and we had a meal. We had the waitress come like, "Hi, I'm Pam. I'm gonna be your waitress. I'm gonna be serving you today. Let me know if y'all need anything." And I'm like, "Oh, we're in Arizona, y'all,
Dude.
you know." And it was great. And,
You're so friendly.
so friendly, super nice lady. And at the end, she goes, I was like, "Any dessert?" And I'm like, "Yes, ma'am. I'll be having some of that homemade pie." I was like, "Oh yeah." She goes, "What do you got?" "Oh, honey, we got cherry, we got pineapple, and we got." I was like, "Yeah, this is what I want to hear. I want to say, ooh, I want some of that homemade pie like my mama used to make back in the day." Like we're
Is
very
this racist? It feels a bit racist.
We're very hacky tourists because
Yeah.
we want the.
He said, sitting on the ledge at the Grand Canyon, driving his open-top Mustang.
That's right. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
we are very hacky.
And I was like, I should get a tattoo of this trip. We're super hacky.
Look,
tourists.
guys, we have to get to the Grand Canyon very quickly because tomorrow we're going to Vegas.
Yeah, exactly.
This is
And so at the end, she goes, "Oh, would you like some pie?" I was like, "Yeah, I'd love some cherry pie." And she goes, "Would you like a la mode?" She goes, "Would you like a la mode?"
that's not happened. She says,
What?
"Would you like it with ice cream?" And you went, "No, it's pretty sweet already. I will skip the ice cream." And I said to her, "How do you eat it over here?" She went, "With ice cream." And you said, "Then I'd rather not have it with ice cream because it's too sweet." But clearly, George, you're a fat fuck, and you would love to have the ice cream, and you want to share it with me.
I didn't say that.
You said you called me.
I thought.
You might as well have the ice cream. And then she said, "Look, it's exactly how you want it. You know, if you want it with ice cream, you have it with ice cream. If you don't want it with ice cream, you don't have to have ice cream. But if you have it with ice cream, in America, we'll call it a la mode." And you said, and the clue is in the name, because a la mode means to your preference in French. And she said, "What?"
Yeah, I was like, "Yeah, it sounds like it's not much of a preference." She goes, "No, just in America we do it a la mode." It's like, "Yeah, but like, whose mode? Toi? Moi?" And she's like, "It's."
What the fuck?
I thought it was. I was like, "This is a fantastic riff in French."
Yeah, it was a great riff in French, but you're doing this on Route 66 to a woman who's like in her mid-50s, serving in America, giving zero fucks about the French.
Where you think like she's served pie her whole life saying a la mode, and not once it's crossed her mind.
What does it mean?
What does it mean? And it's French for however you want it. But then I said how I want it, and they're like, "No, that's not how we do it."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Doesn't sound like a la mode."
A la our mode.
Yeah. A la America mode.
Bro, we're in the golden hour.
We're in the golden hour.
This is it. Sunset. This is so cool. Can I say something about
It is insanely deep. Like, this is very tall. We're on a ledge of something. It's like I think it's very hard for people to comprehend.
It is insanely vast.
Like, your eyes can't even comprehend the depthness.
The sun is going down. This is I can imagine why the Native Americans would be thinking this is where the gods live or the spirits of the ancestors live, and all because this is.
Yeah, not anymore. The spirit of capitalism lives here
Yeah,
now.
what happened is Americans, white people came here, and the Native Americans said this is our land to protect, and they said, well, we will protect it now, and it will cost you $50 to visit.
That's right.
But my family have been here for generations.
Yeah, the British have done that with artifacts, and the Americans have done it with the
land.
With the land.
Yeah, the Native Americans were like, this makes no sense. We don't understand land ownership. You will know soon enough, buddy.
I do like that they were like, listen, we'll take the park. You have that piece of land there and build a casino in the middle of nowhere.
Oh, this is amazing. We are so lucky. And I can say this, whoever's watching this thinking that we are doing this because we are rich and stuff.
I don't think...
because people might think, oh my God, of course, they're comedians, the travel people pay them. And they don't realize that this is not very. You might not be able to go to the Grand Canyon, but it's so easy to go a little bit of traveling. It costs £60 to fly to any European country from a European country. Like €100. You go to anywhere. It's just it is so unimaginably easy.
Yeah. Like renting the car was very cheap.
Like,
It didn't cost a lot. It didn't cost a lot of money.
It is easier than you think.
Yeah, and we
And
planned nothing.
André is poor.
Yeah.
Like really poor.
I mean, yeah.
Like send money, poor.
I mean,
He's poor. Like poor.
Listen,
You've been every time money comes up, you get stressed. Your anxiety goes to the roof.
my anxiety goes through the roof on any subject.
Yeah, because you're poor. I think if you were rich,
I'm anxious right now. You're like, oh, it's a beautiful sunset. Like, we're on the ledge.
this is
But that's
so
how
cool.
I feel all the time.
I need, what I might do? I need to take a picture of this. What I'm looking down, and we can stick it in the video. But this is what.
Dude, he's Instagramming whilst podcasting.
No, we can put in the video in the podcast. What I'm showing right now. But
I
look
could
at
just
this.
turn the camera, and we could just.
Oh my God!
We could just show people the sunset as we talk. We could narrate the sunset.
Well, I don't think you have to narrate the sunset. People have seen the sunset before. Who are you narrating the sunset for? The sun is going away in
for
the
our
west.
blind fans.
They still
I'm very
don't-
inclusive, George.
All right, narrate the
As
sunset.
a member of the African community, I know what it's like to be excluded.
Narrate the sunset.
As the sun settles on the deep lands of Arizona,
Yeah,
you'd see an orange hue
good.
off into the distance, about to say goodbye for today as it parks itself behind one of the big, beautiful mountain faces. It feels so vast, but yet so simple.
That is both. That was a beef jerky of narration. Like I want to hear more of it, but it's shit. You have beef jerky this narration,
Okay.
100%. But can I say, like, there's something so eternal about these mountains. Like I was having this
Oh,
thought.
wow.
I was having this thought. I don't know if you think about this, but when I watch the ocean sometimes, I see the waves crash into the shores, and I know that this combination of these waves, as they are right now, will never happen again. What I'm witnessing for that one wave is only for me to see right now, and it will never repeat itself. That the exact combination of every atom in this particular arrangement. Like this is every wave. They all look the same, but they're all insanely different. So when I watch waves, I know I'm in this moment watching something that can only happen in this moment. And I think about this so often. And then I come to the mountain, and it's the exact opposite. Because in 1,000 years, it'd be the same fucking rocks looking the exact same way. Like the sea has something very temporal about it, but the mountains have a lot of permanence.
Wow. Wasn't that something that you read on the postcard in the gift shop?
No,
The mountains are eternal.
don't.
The waves crash, but the rocks stay the same.
They stay the same.
That sounded
This
Native
is-
American. The waves crash,
This
but the rocks stay the same.
this rock we're sitting on now, like it hasn't changed in 100 years. These mountains behind us, they haven't changed at all. The sea changes all the time. But this is, you are in a place where people will come in 200 years and they will see the exact same views.
Yeah.
Minus the nuclear holocaust that will definitely take place. But other than that, exact same views. But
Yeah.
in the sea, you are witnessing privilege of that very moment. I think that's beautiful.
Wow. And I think I couldn't possibly top that. That was poetic.
Right?
Absolutely.
Like this sunset will repeat itself so many times.
Yeah.
And we won't be here to see it, but it won't be much different.
No.
True.
The sunset. I've seen a lot of sunsets in my life, and they're pretty similar.
Like-
Beautiful, but similar.
We've seen sunsets in Santorini.
We've seen a lot of sunsets.
You know, that was
That was a top sunset.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy to have a ranking of sunsets. Which
We've seen a sunset in Ibiza.
I'll tell you.
I
Something.
lost my glasses there. Drinking a mojito. We've seen a sunset at the Grand Canyon.
You know the only time.
You narrate, but that's the only one you narrated.
Yeah, George, no wonder people think we're a couple. You just literally narrated all the places we've seen sunsets at.
People don't think we're a couple. But we are not.
I do think the only time seeing a sunset is different is if you've had, like, you'd watch a sunset with like your girlfriend, and it's like, wow, so beautiful, we're here together, and then you break up, and then you watch a sunset by yourself, and you're like, there's something quite sad about the sunset.
Well, you really made it sad. Was hoping for a big finish one.
But you know, much like the ocean, sadness is, it's
temporary.
temporal.
Yeah.
Like the wave,
Not for you.
crashes, it
Not for you.
rises.
You've had chronic depression.
Well, we're gonna wrap it up there. We're gonna wrap it up there. Guys, thanks so much for joining in this very special episode of the podcast at the Grand Canyon.
We still don't have a name.
I'll tell you what. It's so hard. I was thinking, like, man, I hope this is funny, because there's a lot of pressure to be funny and to have good riffs at the ledge, because you're never gonna get this opportunity again.
I wasn't worried about being funny because A, I'm funny, and B, I don't know anybody who's watching this, like, sometimes it's a conversation, isn't it? It doesn't have to be funny all the time.
No, I know.
This is two friends vibing,
I know, but
and hopefully people, the pressure to be funny is something you feel.
we did spend 20 minutes talking about colonization.
Yeah, but that was funny.
Yeah.
That was what the occasion required.
Okay.
My God, it's gorgeous.
All right. I want to get my phone for like a slow mo.
Let me grab the camera just for you to see this. This is
All right. Bye bye.